What is up, everybody, and welcome to this emergency podcast episode of the Pitcher Bet Sports Podcast. I am your host, Matt Guest, and Matt and I are coming at you with a special recording because the NBA play-in starts tomorrow, May 18th. We're recording the night of the 17th here, so it's going to be a pretty straightforward episode from us. We're going to recap the past weekend in baseball, go over our pitcher bet from the weekend series picks, and then we're going to talk NBA. I've got my Bucks jersey on. Matt, what do you got? You got Utah Jazz? What is that? Is that a Suns jersey?
No, we're going Kobe.
Kobe, Lake Show. Love to see it.
Yeah.
And, we're going to talk the play-in coming in here the next couple days, and then the NBA playoffs. I'm super excited. Matt's super excited. Let me go ahead and introduce him, my co-host, Matt Morris. What is up, my man? Before we get into it, let's get some news of the day.
Yeah, hell yeah. Let's kick it off. Shohei Ohtani, unbelievable home run tonight. He is now leading the major leagues. We tossed that up on our TikTok. If you haven't seen it, he annihilated the ball. It was probably four or 5 feet above the strike zone, and he just took that thing maybe 450. Aaron Judge is back, 5 home runs this last week. He was tied for the major league in home runs. Ohtani broke it tonight. So it's nice to see Aaron Judge. Yeah, I mean, that's Aaron Judge. He does this. This is his show. NHL had a sellout for a playoff series over the weekend. Very exciting. It is playoff time in NHL. Giancarlo Stanton, DL, what's new? This is his third of the year?
Right,
are we going to hit 5?
Right as Judge gets hot, right?
Yeah. Stanton was hot.
No, that's what I mean. Like, Stanton was super hot. You want Judge to be hot too, but nope, that's not going to happen, right?
Dude, not with those two. No chance. Corbin Burns, who surpassed a major league record this past week, passed Kenley Jansen for most strikeouts to start the season without a walk. Unbelievable record. But guess what? Garrett Cole said not so fast. Garrett Cole actually passed that mark tonight with 61 strikeouts before he walked a batter. Walked a batter then, and then also blew up in this start. Not the best Garrett Cole start for you.
Damn.
Dodgers did sign Albert Pujols. So, well, it's, I want to go and play full time was kind of a ruse. He's going to be a pinch hitter. So
he just got a hit in an RBI tonight, though.
Yeah, got a hit in an RBI today. Oscar Yanoa for the Braves, who is a breakout pitcher this season, had a very bad start against Milwaukee on Sunday. Crazy game. If you haven't seen the highlights, check it out. He ended up going into the dugout, punching the bench, shattering his pitching hand. He will be out 2 months. What a legend. That's some stuff I would do.
That's a
have done.
That's a Matt Morris move right there.
Have done. Let's move on. Jokic is now the NBA favorite to win MVP. He is minus 4,000 in the books, sports books that is. To start this season, he was 25-1. Any of you that bet on him, what a fantastic cash out for you. Kevin Pillar, not the biggest name in Major League Baseball anymore, known for his glove, was hit in the face with a ball. Seems like Major League Baseball's having this issue. Harper had it a couple weeks ago. Kind of back to the doctoring balls segment that we had, which is also on our TikTok. Check it out. You would think these guys could control the fastball. And finally, wrapping it out, we have basketball news, but we will get into that in a little bit.
Yeah, Matt, and we'll get into the NBA here. But last thing on the news of the day that I wanted to touch on, and for our Wisconsin sports team fans listening, like Matt and I are, that Corbin Burns' record being beaten by Cole just completely took me back to, I think it was about 5 years ago now, maybe longer, when Melvin Gordon broke the single-game rushing record in college football. He ran for like 300 yards against Nebraska. And then the next week, some guy from some super small I don't even know, at least it was Garrett Cole to beat Burns' record, but some guy that you've never heard of, just from Central Michigan or something, I don't know, goes and beats Melvin Gordon's rushing record by 15, 20 yards. And I don't know, I just thought of that immediately. Classic Wisconsin had their moment for a couple days. Then Garrett Cole's just hold my beer. I'm just going to come out here and, the Yankees are going to hold the record. No surprise there. I just thought that was kind of funny.
We'll have to look this up before we record next. And I think you may be correct about it being a no-name school, but something in my head says it was a guy from Oklahoma. And I want to do the research now.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to look into it.
Yeah, we'll check it out. So before we get into the NBA, our picks, we're going to do some picks today for the NBA. we got to recap our picks from last weekend. Matt and I are putting videos on YouTube now, so you can go check out these episodes of us recording ourselves by video as well as through the audio on the podcast. So for those on video, they can see that, yes, I am drinking a pitcher right now on camera. Yes, it was paid for again by Matt Morris. And yeah, I kill it at picking baseball series over the weekend. I know I went 9-3-3. There was more than 3 4-game series, but 3 of the 4-game series over the weekend ended up going 2-2, which is where I get the tie. But yeah, 9-3-3. We'll go over the games here in a second, but appreciate the pitcher, bud.
Yeah, is this a good time to ask for a loan? Can I get rent paid or no?
Dude,
yeah, man,
you're taking California. Come on, man.
You're taking a commanding lead. I'm gonna have to come at you, I guess, in football season, right? I supposedly know baseball more. You know football a little better. I got to put my work in this year. Like, clearly not working in my favor.
Yeah, I mean, I know basketball better too. So I mean, we're doing a quick midweek pitcher bet here. You could jump right back on the horse here in the next by our recording on Thursday or Friday, whenever we decide to do it. So you're right there, man. But let's go for the weekend that was baseball. It was pretty entertaining. Like you said, Aaron Judge back, hit the 5 home runs. The Yankees took the series from the Orioles. They did lose on Sunday, but the Yankees, similarly to the Houston Astros right now, too, they're starting to kind of really take their command in their division. I know the Yankees still aren't in first place yet, but they're looking like the Yankees again, which is what they're looking exactly how we expected them. So that was an easy series for them. The next one was the Giants and the Pirates. Giants took care of business there, and you picked the Pirates, huh?
I picked the Giants.
Okay, cool. This was the one I know you for sure picked against me. The Phillies and the Blue Jays. Matt has a soft spot for Bryce Harper, thus the Phillies as well, who have been nothing short of a disappointment on the season. Matt's putting his Bryce Harper phone case up to the camera as we speak. But the Blue Jays are who I thought they were. They mash, they hit homers. When Vladdy Jr. is hot, they're winning, and they actually are playing good in their minor league baseball stadium at home.
Yeah, and we had this conversation before we were recording. They continue to be this anomaly. Their pitching is subpar. They have a prospect in the minor leagues, Alex Manoah, who's lighting it up, formerly from West Virginia, and yet they refuse to bring him up. So my thought process was, hey, they lack pitching. You have 2 high-powered offenses. Aaron Nola's on the mound in this weekend series. Dude, couldn't get it done. Phillies just let me down.
Phillies just let you down again. That's not the first time in this pitcher bet. Next one was the Angels at the Red Sox. That one was a pretty easy series to pick. I know the Angels, they have Shohei, they have Trout, but outside of that, I can't believe they're as bad as they are, but they're fucking terrible. So the Red Sox took care of the Angels in Boston this weekend. Cubs took care of the Tigers. Mets got swept.
I picked the Mets. So standard, you know.
The Mets got swept. I picked the Rays because I thought they'd win the Glasnow game and then hopefully one other one, but they won everything. The Brewers lost the weekend series to Atlanta. That was a really good series all weekend. The Brewers only ended up winning one of those games, and it was a 10-9 final. I mean,
wild.
We talked about that on the last podcast. Brewers can't hit. Atlanta can. Atlanta's bats showed up, but they're, not hitting good again tonight. So both of those teams they're all over the place.
We had an 8-0 lead. We had an inning where we gave up 7 runs to make it 8-7. We missed 3 double plays. Errors from Urias and Wong. Urias continued to bobble the ball, throw it to Wong. Wong would drop it. It was insane. And then Freddie Freeman hits a grand slam. It was the most frustrating baseball I've watched in a while because these two are great defenders. I mean, they will both have gold gloves. Wong already does. And it was like watching 6-year-olds play T-ball. It's crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, I didn't see that. That is wild. Next one was the White Sox took care of the Royals. Kansas City continues to just keep sliding. Unfortunately, probably if we're doing this again this weekend, I do not think I'm going to be able to take them. I'm glad I got them while they were hot. You took the Twins. We both know that was stupid. The A's took care of the Twins as they should have. Dude, come on. Maeda, really? I get riding with Barrios. He's a good player. He's a certified ace, but the Twins are awful. So I laughed when I saw that the A's beat them. Like, that's out of control, dude.
This is my frustration. Like, I'm betting from a perspective of who the Twins were the last 2 years, and in 19 they were great. In 20 they fell off. It's amazing to see how big of a drop off they've had from 19, 20 to 21. Their offense is almost non-existent, and that might have something to do with the ball change. Like, Max Kepler is anemic, Buxton's out. They've got Nelson Cruz, but he's like 80, and he's their best player. So I will not be taking the Twins much longer.
And then, like I said, the Astros are kind of on a roll here. So they took care of the Rangers, who are playing well as well. The Reds beat the Rockies. Mariners took care of the Indians. That's one of the ones that I lost. The Mariners actually swept the Indians. Actually, no, I think they took 3 of 4 from the Indians. That one was a little surprising to me. The whole AL West outside of Houston, those teams are really hard to pick. So,
well, Kelnick came up this week, our boy from Wisconsin, and he absolutely looks like a star.
Oh, really?
They're batting him lead off. Yeah, and home run, double in the same game. Nice. I think that was the only game he really flashed. But when you watch him play, you're like, this guy's the real deal.
Nice. That's sick. That's really cool. I'm down to monitor him this year, too, because I would have had no idea who he was if you didn't say anything. Next one, the Marlins and the Dodgers. Dodgers took care of business this weekend. Nationals took care of business against Arizona. I might need to start tampering my expectations for the Diamondbacks. That one bit me. And then the Padres swept the Cardinals, which Matt picked that one. I picked the Cardinals. I was surprised to see the sweep, but if you look at the box score and the scores, it wasn't like
close
the
games.
Padres were blowing them out. They just beat them, and they were at home. I probably should have taken that more into account. They're a better home team than they are on the road. But it is what it is, and usually Matt and I make our pitcher bets on our weekend episode, but I think we're going to do 2 this week, so I'm super stoked. Anything in baseball outside of what we talked about that the listener might want to know for things to look out for this week, or just some bigger stories from the weekend?
This was forgot to be mentioned in our breaking news or our news segment to start the show, but Trout did go out again with an injury today. It seems like we've hit that point in Trout's career 2-3 years in a row. It's these small injuries, they add up. And it reminds me back to the year where he broke either his hand or his wrist sliding into second base on a stolen base attempt. He just can't stay healthy throughout the entire year. And it's frustrating because he's no doubt the best player in the league, but if you can't stay on the field, what are you doing to help your team? So Trout's out. We're not really sure how long. Matt, was it a hamstring? Was that what we saw?
I think I saw that it was an oblique is what they initially said.
That's not good.
So who knows though? That just said that he left.
Right calf strain.
Was it a calf strain? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's could be bad, but
he probably got a 10-day IL. And what sucks too is they're so bad. The Angels are so bad, so it's not. They might keep him out for 2.5-3 weeks because they don't want to lose him for the entire season. But with that being said, I guess this is Ohtani's time to catapult Trout in the MVP race, which, started off with a bang tonight. So we'll see if the Angels win by the time this recording's over. I doubt it, but you never know. But Matt, let's get to the reason why we are busting out this episode for all of our awesome listeners and followers out there. It's playoff time, baby. We got the jerseys on.
Let's do it.
It's a Bucks 34, but it is the throwback Ray Allen. Shout out to my cousin for buying this for me. He bought it for himself, but it was too small, so he sent it to me. And Matt's got his Kobe jersey on. So the first ever NBA play-in starts tomorrow, which is May 18th. I'm fired up. I cannot wait for the games tomorrow. Tomorrow is the Eastern Conference slate. So for those who haven't listened to our podcast, Matt and I, we talked about our pitcher bet from last week. We make bets against each other on this podcast.
Yes, we do.
Well, since we don't live in the same state or near each other, loser Venmos the other person some money. Other person thus buys beer, then pours into mini pitcher here as I'm holding up on the camera, and then gets to talk a ton of shit because Matt can't win a pitcher bet to save his life. So we're gonna do it on the play-in games, and since the play-in games are running Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick who's gonna make it, who's gonna be the 7 seed, who's gonna be the 8 seed in the Eastern Conference Finals. So the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, excuse me. So let's get right into it, Matt. Do you want me to go first for the East or first for the West when I pick?
Go ahead and go first for the East.
Okay. So tomorrow are the Eastern Conference games. We've got the Charlotte Hornets are going to be playing in Indiana tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern. Indiana is a 3-point favorite going into the game. I will take the Pacers to beat the Hornets. What about you?
Yeah, I'm going Pacers. I know a little bit more about the Pacers than I do the Hornets. Sabonis is fantastic, and I'm going to take them. They've got the best player.
Yep, and they got our boy Malcolm Brogdon, dude. Don't forget about him.
Yeah, he's no joke, man. In a 1-game play-in, right, when you need to win, well, take 2 games, right, if you lose, but I like his chances.
Yeah, both these teams honestly really suck, but I'm going to take the hotter team. Indiana's 5-5 in their last 10. Charlotte's 3-7. So, yeah, that one's, it's not going to be that great of a game, but I like Indiana to win. Next game is going to be, I'm so fired up to watch this game tomorrow night. So fired up. We got our boys, Russell Westbrook, Brad Beal, going into Boston to play the Celtics in the 7-8 matchup. Right now, Vegas has the line at Boston -2. I like the Wizards to win and obviously cover the spread. So I think Washington's going to go in there and beat them. I like them a lot against Boston tomorrow night, solidifying the 7 seed.
So I'm going to pick from my heart. I really want to see
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
You in trouble.
Screw it, man. I want to see. I want to see Brooklyn. I want to see Washington. That's what I've wanted all year. I want Russell to beat the shit out of Kevin Durant and James Harden. So I have no choice but to pick Washington in this game, right? Like it's if they win, they go play Brooklyn. So definitely, this is what I want. Washington, doesn't matter what the spread is. I think Russell comes out and plays one of the best games of his life.
I hope so. I really, really hope so. And I'm just glad that they jumped into that 8 seed so they at least get 2 chances to make the playoffs, win or lose. Because I agree. And if you've been listening to this, Matt and I are all in on Washington right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just some stats about those 2 teams the last 10. Boston's 4-6 in their last 10, and obviously Jaylen Brown is out. Their second best player is out for the season. And the Washington Wizards are 6-4 in their last 10. They pretty much have, in the past month, moved from, I want to say, 13th all the way up to 8th in the East. So they're definitely the hotter team right now.
Russell Westbrook will do that to you. That's what we've talked about.
Yep. And then for the 8 seed, I do think Boston will fall into the 8 seed. I think they're a much better team than Indiana and Charlotte. I still think it'll be Boston and Washington going in to the official playoffs on the Eastern Conference side. I just think it'll go in Washington as the 7 seed, Boston at the 8 seed, which will give us that matchup everybody's looking for, with Philly playing Boston first round and then Brooklyn playing Washington, which the Philly-Boston is actually a cool storyline. Doc Rivers coaching against the Celtics too.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the same strategy. Not as much of an in-depth take, though. I always like to pick the best player, especially in a 1-game play-in, and I think that's Jason Tatum in this series. I think it's his opportunity to take the reins as the superstar on this team without Jaylen playing, right? Because they have a very similar shared role with Tatum taking a little bit more of that leadership. It's his team now. And Brad Stevens is definitely the better coach. I don't even know who Indiana's coach is. That's a little bit of lack of knowledge on my part.
Bad
but
on both of us. I don't know who it is.
I mean, Brogdon maybe, right? He's probably the smartest one on that team. But I'm taking Boston in the 8th seed.
Yeah, for sure. I like that as well. I mean, the East is a little bit easier. This is where it gets dicey here. So in the Western Conference, we have the Spurs are playing the Grizzlies. Memphis is a 4-point favorite in the 9-10 game. Who do you like?
Wow.
These teams suck.
These teams aren't great. I'm going to take the Spurs with DeRozan and Pop. And I don't think that's the right pick, but I think the Spurs win that game.
Yeah, I don't think it's the right pick either. I wanted to take the Spurs, honestly, for the same two reasons. You got DeMar and you have Pop, right? But just based on the statistics coming into the game here, this is why I like Memphis, and I even like Memphis to cover that 4-point spread. Memphis is 38-34. San Antonio is 33-39. I like to look at the last 10. San Antonio is 2-8 in their last 10. Memphis is 6-4. And then lastly, Memphis is a 500 ball club at home. The only stat that's kind of teetering in your favor is that the San Antonio Spurs are 19-17 on the road. So that's an encouraging statistic considering they're under 500. But I like Memphis to win and cover.
Nice.
Next game is the game of the play-in tournament, or play-in games. I don't know what they're calling it in the NBA. Is the Golden State Warriors are going to be in LA taking on the Lakers. So the defending champs are coming into the playoffs right now as a 7 seed. The books have the Lakers at -4.5 right now. Who do you like here?
I'm going to LA, baby. It's LeBron. It's LeBron over Curry. LeBron and AD and Drummond, right? That showcase they showed the other day where AD fed Drummond the ball. They have size on Oakland all day. I guess they're San Francisco, right?
Well, yeah, they're still
over
Golden
the Warriors.
State, but yeah.
Yeah.
They
playing in San Francisco.
Now, yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking the Lakers to beat the Warriors.
Just to throw some numbers at everyone here again. The Lakers are 42-30. The Golden State Warriors are 39-33. Lakers are 21-15 at home. Warriors are 14-22 on the road. Last 10, the Warriors are 8-2. The Lakers are 6-4. Obviously, this is going to be, is Steph Curry going to be hot or not? Steph Curry is gone on an absolute tear the past 3 months in the NBA, completely carrying Golden State. And historically, Steph Curry has LeBron James' number. Steph Curry has also beaten LeBron James more times in the finals than LeBron has beaten Steph Curry. Granted, he had Durant for a couple of those, but in the year he didn't, LeBron didn't have a team. So this is probably the first time in that legendary, rivalry, even though those guys won't call it that because it's not the same NBA, that LeBron's actually going into a game against the Golden State and Curry with a better roster than Curry has. With that being said, I still do like the Lakers to win. I don't like them to cover the 4.5. I think this game is going to be a lot closer than that. I think the Lakers will probably be trailing, if not losing, throughout the majority of the game. But the size is going to come back and bite them. Only way I lose this pick is if Curry has 50 points, which is completely possible because he's playing out of his mind right now. He's literally playing out of his mind. But I do like the Lakers to take that game tomorrow night. I wouldn't bet on the game. Honestly, I'm not putting money on that game. I just don't. It's really tough betting against superstars like Steph Curry, man.
You want to do a secondary side pitcher bet?
Sure, would love to.
I say Lakers win by 10.
You think the Lakers win by 10? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah,
our
we
picks
good
have
with
been
that?
the same. Yeah, for sure.
All right,
our
cool.
picks have been the same, so maybe that's the only one that'll go through.
I need to get back in the running, so I got to shoot for the fence.
We picked a different one. No, we picked a different game. Okay, cool. And then so. With that being said, do you still like Golden State to go in as the 8 seed then? Do you think they beat either Memphis or San Antonio? Yeah, me too.
Yeah, easily. Okay. Yeah.
Cool. So I guess the only game that we did disagree on is that Memphis-San Antonio. So let's just we'll do a double pitcher bet, I guess. But, we could even have the main one be the Lakers win by 10.
Okay, yeah. So
we could have it be a tiebreaker or, I don't know. We'll see here.
Spurs game. Lakers game, right? Like those are our two. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So, yep, I'm really excited for it. We'll see what happens. And I mean, Phoenix against the Lakers or Golden State. Phoenix and Utah have to be so pissed off right now.
Yeah, they got a really tough draw.
They have to be so pissed off. Dallas and Portland just get to play each other 5-6. Like those two teams probably should have been the 7-8, right? That's great.
So Portland's coach, formerly Milwaukee's coach, had been on the outs coming into the end of the season. They said that they would let him walk at the end of the year. I'm wondering if this changes anything. I'm wondering if possibly he keeps his job. We'll see. We'll see how their playoff performance does.
Yeah, but I mean, Dallas, Portland, Lakers, all 42-30. So I mean, he might as well just go thank LeBron James for missing a month and a half of basketball, allowing the Lakers to drop from, I think they were the 1 seed, maybe the 2 seed, all the way down to almost out of playoff contention. Yeah, man. Well, like we said, we wanted to keep this one short, sweet, to the point. We really wanted to have everyone have the opportunity to make their pitcher bets with us over the weekend or over this week here and tell us where we're wrong. If they think Golden State, Lakers, Celtics, Wizards are going to get upset and one of these 9 or 10 teams sneak in, honestly, it could totally happen, man. Like, it really, really could. But we'll see. I'm really excited for the playoffs and the play-in tournament. And you know what? If you're bored, throw on a hockey game. The hockey playoffs are electric. I don't watch hockey ever, but I will tune into some playoff hockey. So if you're out there bored, or you're like me and you've got 3 TVs in your garage or in your living room, toss a hockey game on. Those guys are out of control, and playoff hockey is some of the most entertaining sports out there. I couldn't tell you too many guys outside of like Sid Crosby, but yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. No, I mean, if you can watch hockey and basketball at the same time, you're sitting in a very pretty picture. Golden Knights out here in Vegas, a lot of fans out here.
Hot, dude.
I'm not a huge hockey fan, but obviously surrounded by a lot of them. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, everybody, as always, we appreciate you all. Like and subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and as Matt alluded to, we're on TikTok. We're posting about every day, whether it's breaking news, updates, content from all of our podcasts, some of our clips. Please comment on the videos. Let us know what you do not agree with. DM us. Shoot us a pitcher bet, and we'd love to put it on the next podcast. We will be coming out with something. I think we're probably going to do around Friday once the field is set for the NBA playoffs, because we're definitely going to make more picks. So it's going to be dependent upon that. And yeah, just follow us, and we'll let you know, just kind of how we did tonight on our Instagram story, on TikTok, that, you know what, we're not coming out Wednesday with an episode. We're shooting one out tonight. Screw it. So cheers, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye, guys.